Hello! In this video, we're going to go over how to record 3 types of services: case management, those with financial assistance, and those without. We'll go over some of the basics and then some specific SSVF services. But first, we gotta ask a question. What are service transactions? Service transactions track client engagement. They connect services to a client's profile. You can choose from all sorts of pre-programmed services. There's an option to include notes, the total cost, add any file attachments, and a referral section. Some of these are more optional than others, and we'll go over the ones that aren't optional, as well as some of the best practices. These are available for any HMIS participating agency and are required for SSVF subgrantees. Let's make sure our EDA mode and backdate in the upper right-hand corner is set. This is SSVF, so I'm going to use VOA's Rapid Rehousing from Beckley because that's where I'm originally from. And I've set my date to 1/15/2022. I just picked a random date. Of course, you would always, when you backdate to the day that you did whatever you're recording. So if that's quote-unquote today, you would do it today at 1 a.m. So now we'll look up the client through client point or on the My Clients count if you're listed as the case manager to get to the client's profile page. We're going to go ahead and click on Service Transactions here on the right side. Now you can see that there's a couple different options here, and I'm just going to go over the tiles that you would really ever need to click. The first tile is Add Service. Usually this is what you'll click to, add a service. Then we've got Add Multiple Services, and you can click this if you ever need to add more than one service for a client. Finally, View Entire Service History to look at all of the services, shelter stays, and referrals provided for that client. Since we're going to add a service for case management and one for rental assistance, we will click Add Service. Yes, again, you can click Add Multiple, but I'm just going to do one at a time right now. So let's go ahead and do Add Service. Your service provider right here should be the project that the client is enrolled in. If the client is enrolled in multiple projects, which project is paying for that service? That's what your EDA mode should be, and that's how the service provider is selected. Creating User will have your name, and the start and end dates should both match the back date. It's like a little receipt. For the first service, we'll add one for case management. So for service type, of course, we'll select case/care management. Usually, we can skip over the provider-specific service, but this time we don't. So how do I know whether I need to select something there? So if you go to click it, and it doesn't give you any options, you can skip it because you can't click anything. Here we see, though, that the option is SSVF Case Management, and that is the service we're recording, so we can go ahead and select it. Save and continue. Now, your screen opens up and you have the option to add service notes. I personally never added service notes for case management, but you're welcome to follow your heart in that. Again, case notes do not go here. They go under the Case Plans tab. The next section is the SSVF Specific Service section. There are 3 questions here: type of SSVF service, SSVF financial assistance type, and SSVF financial assistance amount. Since we're recording just the case management, we don't need to record the SSVF financial assistance or the amount, just the type of SSVF service. You may be wondering why you have to record this service type for a total of 3 times now. 2 of these are for your agency and HMIS policy, and this last one right here is the one for when all of your data gets sent to the VA/HUD. This is when you do those SSVF monthly exports. If you complete the first 2 with the HMIS requirements, that's great. But unfortunately, if you go, I just filled this stuff out twice, there's no reason for me to do this 3rd one. That is not good. No bueno. The VA will never know that you did that since they only look at that data element. Anyways, back to the training. This one is pretty easy because when you open up the pick list, the case management services is right there. Select it. The next section is service costs. This case management service is the only time you'll ever fill this section out. For For the number of units, you can only put in quarter increments, and for the unit type, you'll see that case management hours is the only option available, so we'll click that. And since the number of units, again, is only allowed in quarter increments, if I spend an hour and 15 minutes with a client, what would my number of units be? 1.25, since 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour. For the rest of this, you can scroll to the bottom, mark the need status as closed, and the outcome of need as fully met. Save and exit. For the next service, we want to record their rental deposit. Before we do that, now is a really good time to go over the SSVF services provided and financial assistance crosswalk. So you can find a copy of these in the description below, and that'll link you to Box, which is our file sharing system, and you can download and save them, or you can go ahead and print them out. So the way that these work are a little complicated, but once I explain it, you'll be able to get the hang of it easily. So I have rearranged these crosswalks from the original crosswalk in order of how you record it in HMIS, paired with the HMIS specific language. If you want the original crosswalks, they can be found in the description below, and they'll be labeled original crosswalks. So here is the financial assistance one, and here is the services. You'll probably notice at first, it's not a perfect grid. Some boxes lead into one big box, and some boxes split up into smaller boxes. So since we're recording a rental deposit, let's follow along with the SSVF financial assistance crosswalk, because we're spending SSVF dollars. So I'll add a service in HMIS. I'm going to go over here and look at the crosswalk for service type, and here is rental deposit assistance. So in this case, it's pretty cut and dry. This one is my favorite of the crosswalks. I have nothing but love for the financial assistance crosswalk. I'll record the service type and save and continue. I'll record any notes pertaining to the service here. For any rent and utility payment, I always add service notes. However, this is totally optional and honestly up to your supervisor. So if we're paying $1,300 for the deposit, this is how I would write out the notes. $1,300 deposit 2022 to landlord LLC. Then next, I need to record the SSVF financial assistance type. I'm going to move my finger across the crosswalk and see that I need to record it as security deposit. And then you'll need to record the amount twice. The first time, we'll record it directly under the SSVF financial assistance type, so I'll put the amount of the deposit in here. Then the next place is the add funding source down here. I'm going to click add funding source. Sometimes the source that you need most is at the top of the screen, but if it's not, you can always search it. And since we're paying for a security deposit out of SSVF, I'm going to search SSVF, and nothing appears. So I'm going to try spelling that out. But since I am lazy, I'm just going to type vet and hit return. It's there. So I'll click that green plus, and then I'll record that $1,300 amount again here, and then hit the enter key or click calculate. As for the rest of this, we can scroll to the bottom, mark the need status as closed, and the outcome of need is fully met. Save and exit. So the last service I'll record is a regular service using the services crosswalk. I'll take this time now to point out the wonkiness of this specific crosswalk. For this instance, you'll see healthcare is listed twice, one right on top of the other. But you'll also see the two boxes are different with this. You can see, is it healthcare in the sense of where you're providing assistance obtaining VA benefits, or assistance obtaining / coordinating other public benefits. So please always double check if the services are listed twice. Sometimes they are on top of the other just like this, and sometimes they're not. Thankfully, we have the ability to think critically, so if one of these doesn't make sense, you may need to look for the specific service one more time. And on top of that, HMIS Help is always here to help you. So, let's say you help your client get in touch with a lawyer for child support. I'm going to add a service, and that is my service type. So I will save and continue. I don't have any notes here, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to type of SSVF service. I'm going to go along this pretend row and see that child support assistance is either assistance obtaining, coordinating other public benefits, or direct provision of other public benefits. Now, I don't know about you, but I personally cannot directly provide this client with child support assistance. So for me, this will fall under assistance obtaining, coordinating other public benefits. You'll notice this is a conditional service. Once you select that, this new if assistance obtaining / coordinating other public benefits data element pops up. So I'll follow my pretend row here and see that I'm going to record legal services child support here. Then I can scroll down and mark it as closed and fully met and save and exit. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, if you have any questions pertaining to HMIS, please reach out to the help desk at hmishelp@wvceh.org. If the question does not relate to recording things in HMIS or using HMIS, please reach out to your grant holder's contact person. Again, I can really only show you how to put things in HMIS or how to utilize HMIS. I am not really any good for policy or grant-related questions.